Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're just going to be doing a day in the life. We have got quite a few errands, so we're just going to see. I did most of my cleaning already, but I'm going to finish it up and then get dressed, and then we're going to go ahead to run all of our errands. We just ran a bunch of errands, and honestly I didn't even need any of the stuff that I brought for Jace, so I feel pretty good about that. But now we're back and we're relaxing. This is probably going to be spanned across 2 days because I didn't vlog any because I totally forgot about it whenever we started getting things done. So I'll talk to you guys just throughout the day and the rest of the evening, and then probably span it into the next morning. So let's just get into it. Now we're home and we're just hanging out. I'm going to look at the garden because it looks really pretty. And this is not your Pinterest perfect garden. It's just like a, I don't know, just a basic thing. So I'm just going to show you. It uses like all trash basically to make my garden because I didn't want to spend any money on it. So as you can tell, these are like little pups that I got off of my big one. Put them in here. I repotted this too. It was in a much smaller one. So now it should be fine. And then these are onions, and they're doing surprisingly really well. This one I transplanted from this one right here, and it's doing really well. This is rosemary, or maybe it's lavender, I don't know. Anyway, so that's really good. This is doing amazing. They're all so much greener now after it rained. It rained pretty hard. Here's the cilantro. And as you can tell, I just used cups that I have from like everyone. And then here's the rest of it. This is where I usually keep everything. But look, what is this? My lentils are growing. How exciting. Anyways, so there's all that. I plan on using that water just as a good jump start to get the seeds in a good spot. I'm using all of the tiny little cups from my son's fruit cups that he eats. I'm using that for us to be able to put seeds in. And those other ones are all from like cups, or my husband and I like to get fountain drinks, like teas and stuff. We don't drink soda, but we drink tea, flavored, not flavored salty. So we use those. We get them on Fridays whenever we either go on a date, go out to eat, something like that. We keep them, and I keep them and use them in the garden. And I also use our gallon milk jugs and all of that stuff because, I mean, we already bought it anyways. I just want to use it to its full capacity. And those fast food cups are really great because I don't have to spend anything for them besides like what we did for the meal, obviously. But then I get to write exactly what it is on them, so that way I know what it is. So I don't get confused like I did with the lavender and the rosemary. I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. But anyways, so that's really exciting, and I'm really thankful because I really didn't spend a dime on any of the stuff that I have. Like a lot of the beans and everything and potatoes were all from the food that we bought at the grocery store. And so I'm really proud. I'm really proud. And I'm showing you and telling you that you don't have to spend too much money to be able to have a decent garden. And we're in the middle of like a kind of a cold snap, so I'm going to put and cover them up before anything gets worse as far as like cold wise. But we're going to kind of see, because sometimes the weather is wrong. Like the weatherman is like wrong, but I'm preparing for that, and in my mind that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you what I'm actually going to use to keep my garden warm during that time. This should be fine for the cold snap because it truly doesn't even, like the worms can dig down farther in here. This whole thing is filled with dirt, and it's only going to be like 40 something, but for Texas that's relatively cold. It's going to be like 40, maybe a little under the 40, but in the 40s somewhere anyways, this is the point. And so they can go down farther and get warmer that way. But that's helpful. But these are what I plan on covering the plants with, because they actually are good for winter sowing. So I figured this would be good to cover up since we don't get crazy cold snaps. I figured this would help. And then here are my little bitty plants. See, there's seeds in the bottom of that. But these are those fruit cups that I was talking about that I am going to be using for my garden. I'm gonna turn the lights on again. But yeah. In one of my videos I talked about like the link for that, so go check it out. Okay, so the things I've done so far that I haven't shown. I've changed all the sensory bins for either like this weekend, and then I'll change them on Sunday and do them for the week. Just because I like to have ones that are more open-ended for the week, so that way I can adjust in case I don't have time to make a new one. So I got that done. I swept the floors and I did run the Roomba just to clean just the dirt on the bottom of the floor. Like, I hate whenever I walk and I get the junk on the bottom of the feet. So I did run the Roomba and I did vacuum. I'm not going to mop until Sunday whenever the rain and the cold front is gone, because otherwise the floors are just going to get disgusting, so I'm not going to do that. But I did get like a start on it. I cleaned all the bathrooms, I cleaned all the sinks, I made the bed. Sorry, I thought I heard my son crying. Made the beds, I cleaned the kitchen, I prepped part of dinner because I make everything from scratch, so throughout the day I'll do like a loaf of bread here, or I'll soak some beans here, I'll do whatever because I make everything from scratch. So doing things throughout the day is really helpful. I did work already at 4 a.m. to 6, around 6:30. We got our taxes done. I got my car insurance done. Not car insurance. My car inspection done, and I'm going to register that later on tonight because I'm trying to get all the things I can do outside done before it gets dark, even though we're on that time change, so it gets dark way later. I still have a lot to do out here. I think that's about it. We had lunch, all of that kind of stuff. So I pretty much just am hanging out now because I got a bulk of everything done. Oh, I also got a Walmart order for a hat, like a baseball cap for my son, a water bottle, like an additional one that he can like pop up because he really likes those. We already have one, but I need to get another one just so there's 2 in rotation, so I can wash one can be used. And then I got a cheap pair of sunglasses for him because he's outside with us all the time. And he's outside with my parents all the time, and he's outside with like his grandparents all the time. So because of that, I want him to have a baseball cap and some cheap sunglasses that if they got messed up it wouldn't matter. But we have 2 pairs of sunglasses for him, actually 3, but the third one we cannot find. We're still looking. But he has 1 baseball cap because we're going to see if he'll even like handle it, or can even like if he'll even like it. So we got that. He's still napping. I know I'm going to regret it later. If you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about, because it's like almost 5 o'clock. And although this is the week of the time change, I've been trying to adjust him to not be sleeping past 5 o'clock. But I also don't want him to get sick, so I want him to sleep as long as possible. So I'm kind of in a pickle, but I did get all the plants put away. I told you guys that. I winterized everything. I winterized the wormies, so that way they're all comfy in there. And yeah, later on I do have some things. Oh, that's the other thing. I finished my apple cider vinegar. I'm about to have to dump it into another container to where it can sit and relax for a couple of days before I put it in the fridge to be able to be used. And I need to clean out the container from the last time that I made a batch just to make sure that it's clean for all of that. And then that's about it. I still have yogurt that I made from last time, and we still have half a sourdough loaf for the weekend, and we still have plenty of food that I can just heat up and warm up for lunches and breakfast for Sunday at least, because on Sunday we don't go anywhere. We used to, but my husband and I just decided like we don't need to do that anymore, so I've got everything kind of prepped for Sunday. And that's about it. So someone just called me and I did not even hear it. So we went and got breakfast from a local place. It's like a gas station, but they have really good breakfast. So we went there and we got that. Got a coffee. It's not that good, at least compared to my home one, but it's still good. You know what I'm saying? He's crying because he wants to get out of the car, but we're about to get out of the car because Gabe needs to go ahead and get some parts. So we're just going to go with him to Napa. Then we're going to head back and we'll check on the plants, and then that's it. It's kind of cold outside already, and it did rain.
We are going to cover the plants because I let them hang out for a while during the day while it was super, like, not cold at all. But now it's starting to get really cold, and it's supposed to get down to like 35-ish, which for Texas, that's pretty cold, so I'm going to try to get them all back wrapped up again and all warm again. So I have a little helper, and he's hopefully going to help me.
The last step that we need to do is to check on home rims. I put this on top of it because it got so windy that this whole thing almost was taken off. These are some pretty thick, like, heavier boards that were just like scrap pieces, and it almost was taken off, and this whole thing was like flicked off too. So anyways, just checking to make sure that everything feels relatively toasty in here and all that. Seems to be fine. They seem to be moving. I checked them earlier today. They seem to be fine now and have plenty of food. Tomorrow I'm going to feed them to get them through the cold snap. Actually I might feed them right now. I don't know. I think I might do it tomorrow. I know that they're more active at night, but it's supposed to be colder tomorrow night as well. So since they have enough food in there right now, by the way, these are Canadian. You no, sir. Canadian. No, icky. Canadian night crawlers. So these walk slow, baby. So these are more like fishing worms. They're really great for the garden too. So I farm them. They're in this little thing. Really cheaply done. Hold on. Come here. Yeah. Very cheaply done, but they're thriving in there. But we feed them. We feed them once every other day, basically. And then also, if it's depending on if they're cold, we feed them more, that kind of stuff. We feed them in the evening because they feast and eat at the evening. That's why they're called night crawlers. And so that's what I've been doing, is taking care of them in the evening. I've been feeding them in the evening so that way they can eat throughout the night. And I haven't fed them in a while because they still have a lot of food. And they still do. I don't know, I might go feed them just to make sure that they're okay for the night. But they've done really well. So if you ever want to buy the fishing worms and then keep them for whenever you want to go fishing again, or use them in the garden like I'm doing, that's the way to do it. They aerate the ground way better than the earthworms, but they don't compost or reproduce as quickly as those, so that they have like some goods and bads, but overall they're pretty good. They also eat meat and like random little things like that. So what we do is we give them like meat scraps and just all of our food scraps. So I'm gonna go try to do that right now. And I'm gonna bring him with me. Wish me luck, but I think that's gonna be fine. I'm gonna leave all those lights on overnight, just so that way those that they're fine. Those little seedlings are fine. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Those seedlings are actually ones that I got from like a bell pepper from the store. So I think that those will be fine, and if they don't produce, I didn't really spend money on it, so I think it's fine. So we're gonna go get the food for the worms and then go feed them. Alright, that's it. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.